I'm happy for the laughter at fellow Ghanaians. Because we are desiring to hear fellow Ghanaians. I think His Excellency the President demonstrated great leadership when we were dealing with COVID. The crisis we are dealing with is worse than COVID. The situation where renal diseases are on the rise. The situation where you now have a lot of spontaneous abortions that are happening. The situation where you have babies that are deformed very brutally. And they do the postmortems out of that. There's one baby that was born with 4 lower limbs and 2 hands, so that's 6 limbs. The level of heavy metal that was found in the bone marrow of that baby. There are 2 young men in Bekwai currently as we speak. They've suffered from heavy mercury poisoning to the extent that putting food in their mouths is a challenge. There was a young man who had finished KNUST, gone home to come and defend his thesis, goes to one of these areas, falls into a pit, and dies. There's a woman, pregnant, whose only crime was that she was born in Ghana, as a citizen of Ghana, and lives in Konongo. Wake up to go and respond to nature's call, and falls into a pit and dies. So if any of these were the relative of the president, the relative of the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, would we be asking that we should wait till next year before we go fighting? When you have a situation where in August, stability of water, where the WHO says should be 5 NTUs, that the water treatment plant was designed at Heman to handle 500 NTUs. That the Ghana water has pushed to 2,000 NTUs. That is recording 14,000 NTUs. Would you be sitting? Is this not crisis of genocidal proportions? Is this not ecocide that is being, put on all of us? Apart from the fact that you destroyed all the water bodies so most of these inland fishers and those who trade in the fish have lost their jobs. Apart from the fact that now Ghana itself, we borrowed money for cocoa, but because of the unavailability of water to spray our cocoa, that money was returned. The fact that you have the lowest level of cocoa production output as we speak. The fact that now China is engaged in production of cocoa. And by far, it is an established fact based on empirical evidence that the foreign elements that are involved in our Galamsey, majority of them are the Chinese. And so nobody should run away from that. Those are facts that we need to confront. Then you've destroyed your inland water bodies. Now, where are local fishers who do not have money to buy outboard motors go to fish at sea? There's no fish there again because the estuaries, you've polluted that water again. So you are people who are poisoning yourself. It is said that when you go to war and you poison the water of your enemy, it's one of the gravest war crimes you can commit. So what do they say about Ghanaians who self-poison themselves? What would they say about us? And we forget. The Mali, Songhai, and Ghana Empire, there was a Ghana before. That Ghana is extinct. Today it's extinct. Your Ghana is at the verge of extinction. I hear some people tell you that you'll be able to import water because you go into the houses of most of these people who are really involved in it. They will bring Voss, they will bring Evian. They should bring Voss and Evian to bath. About 7 countries drain their waters, that's around you, drain their waters into Ghana. So when you destroy your water, and you are the basin receiving it, where are you going to import the water from? Do you have aircraft flying water to you? Or you have vessels bringing water here? So please, we don't have an option. We are desperate people who are being killed. So when the Ministry of Information speaks to us about their proposals to our demands, and in all of that, all you see is well, wood, that's not good enough. For people who are in a crisis, we don't have the time. It is important that we see action. And people say, "Agrobeswa efianopa." So in that, we've been saying this thing. The last time I was here when we did was sometime in September. So how is it that we've not taken action? Do you know that the new standing orders of parliament allows the parliamentarians to sit virtually? So if you're in a crisis, what stops parliament from saying to start to sit virtually so that we will revoke that LI that we're talking about? When it came to passing of tax exemption, that will benefit them, not benefit majority of us Ghanaians. They were able to convene and sit. So why can't they sit at this time? Why is it that currently as you sit, if you go to some of the bridges, you still see chamfans on it? So when we are told that the original ministers were supposed to take action, what actions were they taking? 2 weeks ago, I went to Nkoko. Driving in my car, I could see people mining, along the road. So what is it that we are doing? And that is what is in that statement. So we urge His Excellency the President that he has 2 days to stop this industrial action. We don't want an industrial action. The Ghana coalition working together with Labour, the media and all, we don't want the industrial action. But you see, the same way that a loving parent would allow the daughter or the son to go under the knife of surgery, painful as it is, to save the life, that's where we have gotten as a country. We have to take some better pills to save ourselves today. It's not about the future. Don't delude yourself. We are not talking about the future. The future, they will not scratch the surface. We're talking about saving ourselves now. So as a Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, we've written to Ghana Water. We're asking them to publish for us the level of heavy metals and trace metals in all the waters that we're drinking. You see, when, again, my brother said it the last time, when it is clear, doesn't mean it is clean. So we need to be sure that the waters that you're drinking does not have heavy metals in them. One of the actions that we're going to take, we're going to ask medical bodies, are there any tests that all of us can take now that will tell us what is the level of heavy metals in our body? Are there any tests? So that we can then look for money and get all of us to start taking it. Because see, we need to start confronting this thing very differently. Very, very differently. So for us, the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, starting on the 3rd of this month, we're urging all Ghanaians to wear red bands as silent but positive action that we're telling everybody. So we're urging all of you on the 10th, we'll all start the red band campaign. You do it, you take it, we'll put it on social media to galvanize a lot more people. Because ampa yenya bre nyata pe nya bonkubia anukwale wonye echu onye echu wadenje. So we need to galvanize all the people. Another thing we're going to do, I have some very bad images on my phone. Very soon we're going to start putting them out. We need to start telling our folks who are in the communities who think that cutting their tongues and roasting it, they are some meat they're eating. The Galamsey impact on them is worse, but they don't get anything. The people who live in Accra and all the big places who do. When you have a situation where you have 10 people that are, how many of our ministers are present? The people, no, not the ministers, but the people who buy the Galamsey stuff, getting the money out. How many of their children are involved in that? The babies that are born deformed, how many of them are there? They are not there. So we'll start doing that. A lot of shock and awe. So we need you, the media, to carry those stories so that in local language, so that our people will hear and understand that the thing that we're doing, that they are coming to them and telling them, it's nothing they've got. If you grow avocado, 1 acre of avocado, you get $6,000 on your 3rd year, 4th year. If you mine 1 acre of Galamsey gold, you get $6,000. After that year, you're gone. After you've done, you're gone. Coconut will give you $2,500 in a year. But you will be able to do that for 50 years. Who is telling our people all of these things? So the time has come for all of us Ghanaians to rally. This thing has nothing to do with politics. What we need is for the president to take the first step. So once the president takes the first step, then what we will do is then ask the presidential candidates of both the NDC and the MPP to also sign the pact that the things that the SDG platform has asked that has to be done, that the president has started doing, that they support it. Because one of them will become president January 2025. And we will expect that when they come, what the president has started doing, they will continue. But the condition precedent is that the president has to act first. Once the president acts, then you can call these other people. They are not in power now. You can call them, because we don't want any political party to take advantage of the fight. There should be no partisan taking advantage of it. They've done it forever. 2016, His Excellency the President did it in Obuasi. He said it was not true that when he came, he was going to stop Galamsey. 2020, Kweku Buayin, the NDC, he was in the theater of a crime. He should have been arrested, telling the people that when they come, they should go back to it. This year, we've seen the the parliamentary candidate of the MPP standing with the Western Regional Minister and saying they're going to form a WhatsApp group. When people come, they should meet them. We've heard His Excellency, the former president, talk about the fact that he will grant amnesty to people who are in jail. We've heard the running mate of His Excellency, the former president, also talk about teaching people to do an illegality. Then we've heard what? An MPP, he's a doctor. He's supposed to know better. He's supposed to understand this right now, the effects more than I do. Saying that they will not stop. We will not allow any politician to come and do a double speak. They come into town and come and say, oh, fight Galamsey, then they go to we will not allow them to do that. But we need the president to take the first action, then the rest of us will follow. So for you, the media, I pray that you keep on doing what you're doing. This statement that has been read, let's make sure we give it a lot of energy. Because our president was a former co-chair of the SDGs. He should be answering to this. He should be helping us deal with this. But my final call to all of those who are in power, all of those who are in power, who have the power to deal with this. Ecocide has been added to one of the grave crimes against the environment. I pray that they act so that not when they go on retirement, we don't drag them to Arusha, we don't drag them to The Hague with an ecocide charge, because Ghanaians are not going to forgive us if we don't stop this crisis of genocidal proportions today and now. Thank you all very much.